That's
All right, good
first of
morning,
all as Basil. That's easier and better.
Basil. Okay,
Basil.
we're gonna cut this out.
I get it a lot.
Sorry.
It's
All right, three, two, one. Hey, everybody, we're back. Episode number 4 of the Classthetics podcast. We have a special guest today, Basil. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How about you, Yusuf?
I'm doing good. Looks like you're still traveling, right?
Yes, I'm on the road. Let's just
On
say
the
that.
road. Is it a business travel or just having fun?
Yes, it's a business trip. I'm here for meetings actually,
Awesome.
and it got ended, so I'm still staying, meeting some friends, but it's mainly business.
Yep. You've been there for a week or so, right? I remember talking to you last week. You're still there.
Yeah, we talked last Tuesday. I remember I was saying we can talk tomorrow, and we was like, no, let's do it next Wednesday.
Yeah, I was scheduling with another person last week. All right, there's a lot to talk about with you, especially you, Basil. You have a lot to enlighten us with. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
That's awesome. So thank you so much for having me, first of all. I have a lot to say, but I'd say I was born in Saudi, Eastern Providence. And yes, we know each other, but we didn't know each other back home because we were from the same hometown. But I grew up in Saudi, grew up in three places, and actually in Eastern and Riyadh, because my dad used to work there, and third, America. We used to go there until I was 10 years old, almost like 3 or 4 times. And then I studied back home and until I finished high school. Then I moved to the US, Philly, to study school. I studied biomedical engineering. And then I graduated. I worked for a year in that career. And then I moved to LA to continue pursuing my dream career, which is I love, which is acting, and I started that when I was 9 years old. Then I continued that in LA until 2021. Middle of 2021, I came back home after being in the US for 6 years, not visiting. So, uh, yeah, I've been into fitness. I love fitness. I love art. I'm 26 years old right now, but I feel like I've experienced a lot of things, met a lot of people from different directions, and that's basically it. I have so much to say. You direct me where you want to go.
I know there's a lot of fields that I want to talk about, like growing up in Riyadh, US, and Eastern Province. We can take it through the career kind of thing, the career side of things, business, acting, bodybuilding,
Let's.
entrepreneurship. There's a lot to talk about. So we're gonna break it down with Eli. Eli,
Yeah, I'd like to just ask you, just to kind of start things off, when exactly did you start a career in fitness and
Okay,
why?
that's awesome. So I started officially when I was 14 years old, and I've been into sports since I was a kid, like soccer, basketball, swimming, judo, karate, everything, you name it. But I just love to play sports. But I started my fitness career. When I say fitness, I mean like gym activity, right?
Okay.
Uh, and it was because I gained a little weight in my teenage years, and I just didn't like my body shape or my mentality at the time. So I jumped into the gym and I set my 3 months goal, which was to wear a 32 jeans after wearing 38 or 40, something like that. So I bought the 32, like I'm gonna wear that one, and I'm gonna lose 25 kilos in 3 months, and I did it, and I was so happy, and that was my beginning.
That is amazing. That's really, really good. I mean, in 3 months, that's incredible.
Basil,
It is.
go ahead.
I think it's quick, but what comes quick just goes quick, and that what happened. That it was exactly what happened. But I was inspired by the people around me and my family, so I did it, and that was my start.
I
Excellent.
would say Basil is one of the few people that I really love to follow on social media, the stories and everything, because you are a person, and I'm not saying that because I'm talking to you in your face, but you are a person with a vision. You always visualize, you clear up all the distractions, and you go for whether it's a bodybuilding show or acting career or anything. It's the small things, just like buying a 32 jeans before it happens. So you set your goal, you know your vision, you know your way, and you shut off all the distractions. When did you so you did bodybuilding shows, obviously, and you got one of the craziest structures I've ever seen. If you brought up, um, I remember telling you that before, that with a really sharp conditioning, you'll be really hard to beat. Can you talk a little bit about your bodybuilding journey? When did you start it? How it turned out?
Yeah, definitely. So I was in my second year in college, and I was, let's say, 21, 22, 22. It was 2015, and I committed to bodybuilding. Actually, uh, th- no, that was first year. Um, yeah, 2015. I was in my first year, I think, and then I dedicated myself into bodybuilding. Then I wanted to level up and do a show, and that was 2017. So I was already going to the gym every day, six times a week, if not more, but six times at least. And I was like really dedicated. I had my gym partner, and they just announced the classic physique division at that time, at the end of 2016. And I was like, I love bodybuilding, but it's too huge. And I love men's physique, and this is something in the middle. And I was like, I want to do it. I want to level up my thing here. So I started prep uh, for 3 months, 12 weeks out, and I was on my own. And I was doing my own dieting. I was training hard as usual, but I leveled up with my training partner. And then 4 weeks out, I remember calling my friend Amr Zahar, and I told him, "Hey, I'm dealing with this challenge and that challenge." And he was like, "Hey, bro, let's do this, let's do that," and he monitored the progress until I did my own show, and then it was the Eastern USA 2017 Classic Physique, and I entered at 191 pounds, I believe, and I mean, it was awesome. It was amazing experience. I did it because I missed the stage. I missed the lights, and when I got in there, it was like, this is my thing. I mean, I'm enjoying my routine, my 1 minute routine, and I was looking at them, and it was fun. I placed 11th out of 24. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. I enjoyed it, and I was so proud of it.
Yeah, you and I are one of we started early, like when Classic Physique Division came up, we started early. We competed even before it was done in the Olympia. But you weighed way more than I weighed. I weighed 171 my first show. You weighed 191. You got 20
How
Yeah,
tall
I
are you,
was.
Basil?
pounds on me. Sorry about that.
I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11", and I missed the conditioning, but I went anyway because I just wanted the experience. Uh, Yusuf, not proud. Like, I mean, he was more shredded than I did in my first show. That's why he was 171. If I was 171 and 5'11", I'm a little shorter than he is. I think you're 6, right? 6'1".
I'm 5'11 and a half. Really, like,
Anyway, if I
almost.
was that, I would got top 5, I would say. So, but who knows? I mean, it went that way. So anyway, I enjoyed it. But yeah, we started at the same year, around the same time, I think, competing.
And then that was when you you transitioned into coaching right after your show? Because I've seen your posts. You kind of have your own gym. Is that true, or it's more of a private gym in the U.S.? You got the specialized.
No, 2017 and 2018, that was the years I competed, but I was not coaching anybody. I was only coaching people around me, like my friends and people in the gym. I would give them advice, or I would keep them accountable for 3 months, but I was not doing it officially. I started coaching 2019, and that was when I moved to LA.
So you started coaching in 2019, but you had in 2017 basically started taking friends and just acquaintances in the gym and helping them. That's kind of how you
Yes.
started out. Okay, great. Do you think that that helped you quite a bit when it came time to actually, all right, let's do this officially. I'm starting a business. Did those people kind of support you along the way?
Yes, they were the first people actually to support. It helped me a lot to see different body types because I know my body type. Like I know it. I want to lose this. I want to gain this. I know it. I lost and gained. But looking at the different type of body, different kind of routine, different kind of person and mentality is challenging. I mean, you gotta look at the body, see how it reacts. So it helped me a lot, and especially that like the closest friend that I actually worked with closely, like in 2016, 17, 18, he was ectomorph. So he was the opposite of my own body part. Because I used to be overweight. He's the opposite. So yeah, it gave me perspective, definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. So when you started in 2019, how was it just starting out? You had some support going into it. Were you looking to work directly with other bodybuilders, or was it more general population?
General population.
Excellent.
You've always liked the lights, Basil.
Did you hear it?
Say what?
What is it?
I was saying you always liked the lights and
Mm.
stage. So you started the acting career when you were like 9 years old, and then you were off stage for a while, and then you set a challenge for yourself, the bodybuilding, and when you step on stage, you hit back home, right?
It did, actually, it did. I love performance. I love live performance. I love uh, the expression of the human body and the human emotion.
That's
Seeing people reacting to that, it just gives me life.
I love
Yeah, I
the way you look
started.
at bodybuilding. I love the way you look at bodybuilding. You look at it from an arts standpoint, expression of the body, like you're conveying emotions. You're kind of telling a story or doing actual performance. Whereas a lot of people just go out there and flex, and they don't know. They don't have a passion to go with it. It doesn't have any flavor to it, if that makes sense. But since you do it from an artistic standpoint or view, and then you carry out what you learn in the acting career and you apply it, kind of expressing yourself on stage, it gives it a special taste. I like that.
Yeah, I believe it's an expression, and being yourself up there just makes it a lot easier.
Mhm. Yep. You talked about learning body types as you coach people, and that's a big point. We talked about that last podcast or a couple of weeks ago with Eli. Um, that if you're coaching yourself, which you obviously did, you coach yourself through your bodybuilding show. You learn you learn a single body, but the more people you deal with, the more knowledge you gain.
Definitely, I agree because people go through different things. I always say this to my clients and everyone that talks about it. I say we don't have fitness problems. We don't have work problems. We only have personal problems, and that affects everything. So you kind of deal with the bodies, the body types, and their own lives too. You're coaching them like as whole, so you learn a lot.
Yeah, it's relationship. It's got to do a lot in coaching. It's not only bodies. All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about your current career, what you do for a living, and how it relates to fitness?
That's awesome. So I am pursuing and continuing my acting career. I have my fitness business that's running. I coach people closely one-on-one slash consulting because I really have meetings with them. I have an app. I use Trainrise actually, like just like you, and you advised me, recommended that one. It was a lot better than my PT Hub, and that's part of it. I give them plans, and I also have um, a, a, a massage therapy brand that I sold a couple months ago. Um, so that's basically it. So yeah, I have my own degree in biomedical, but I worked for a year and I decided that it's not for me. I mean, an actor is who I am. I love filming, TV. I love the screen. I've done production, directing, and acting, and that's entrepreneurship. Mm,
Yep. You like to
so
put yourself out there instead of just working in an office with your degree.
yeah, I love the adventure. I love to use this time that I'm here to add value and be happy. So
You said you have a massage therapy.
yeah, the massage
Oh,
gun, for
yeah,
example,
yeah.
and the roller for therapy. I sell them on an online store.
I see. So you have the product that you sell online. That's awesome. So you're branching out fitness.
Yeah, but yeah, but mainly coaching. That's my focus. That inside of fitness, because I have my relationship with my clients, and that's been going.
You
You know,
love.
I think that everyone's um, kind of as you're going up, you come through these kind of checkpoints. That's kind of how I see it. Like a checkpoint for myself was, well, first graduating high school, becoming certified in personal training, more recently, finally competing in bodybuilding. And all of these things kind of come together to put me where I am right now. So I'm very interested to hear from you because I'm hearing you started acting at a very early age, then fast forward, you're into bodybuilding a little bit further, you're working with general population fitness coaching, and now you're kind of skyrocketed to where you are now. You've got a really large following, you've got brands that you're working with, a massage therapy business on the side. It sounds like that, well, you just sold the brand. I mean, man, that's incredible. What do you feel like were some of kind of the checkpoints along this timeline here that got you to where you are today?
I think experience, and it's the journey, right? So I wrote an ebook which I started my business based off of it. It's called Triple P: Purpose, Plan, and Performance. And I realized that my own story and the people that I met, like people just jump into performance without the foundations, like no purpose and plan. Like why are they doing it, and what's the vision that they're creating, which is the plan, right? And they just perform, and then they fall and they stop because they have the foundation. They, like I don't feel like going to the gym every day, and I tell them that. But what keeps me going is that I know why and what I want to achieve.
I love that.
So I remember like connecting acting with bodybuilding is the self-image that I want to see myself and creating, and also that's the physical aspect of it. The mental aspect of it is the sense of accomplishment that comes with it, because you do things by your own hands or it's not going to be done, right? So this sense of accomplishment is crucial in anybody's career. uh, so
I love
that's
that.
what
I never heard of your ebook, Triple P, Purpose Plan Performance.
I'll
I
send it to
mean,
you.
from the name of it, it sounds really deep. I'll buy it. I'll read it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna learn something out of it.
I'll send, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you both. and it has my own story and how it affected my bodybuilding and my coaching, and also it has 16-week plan and some diet recommendations and strategies.
16 weeks dieting plan or show competition prep, or
A
16,
bit of
16
both.
weeks of self growth. Is it like more of a
Yes.
physical side of things, or
Yes. So there are exercises. So transformation exercises. It has 4 phases, actually 6 phases, and it changes the exercises, changes the techniques, and the diet. I can't give everybody like a quick diet fix, but I gave them the knowledge and
amazing?
a strategy.
Awesome. That's really good. You gotta send me this. You gotta send it out once we're done here.
Definitely.
So it sounds to me like, man, you're just killing it. I definitely am excited to read that book. I think it's going to offer some very valuable insight. Um, it sounds, it's here's the thing about the internet. I think it was Denzel Washington put a tweet out a couple years ago, and he said something along the lines of, um, "Don't worry about other people. No one is posting their failures on the internet, right?" So we constantly see everybody's the best side of everybody's story on the internet, and that can be kind of disconcerting for some people who are just starting out or maybe who are struggling to even get started. So I'm wondering if maybe you could kind of motivate or shine some light, help those people. um, have you had encountered any pretty rough or tough to deal with failures across the course of your career?
Yeah, definitely, I did, and seeing social media, it can be daunting. And by the way, I love Denzel Washington. He's one of the people I look up to in acting. Um, is everything good? Meeting good?
Yep, we're
Awesome.
good.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So yeah, he's what he's saying is right. I know there is the glamorous victory, all kind of shiny things on social media, but I've dealt with failures in bodybuilding. I tried to prepare for a show 2019, and I did not go because I was not ready. I did not want to just do a show just to go because I was not satisfied. I tried to do a show in 2000 this year 2022 in January, and I was not satisfied with the physique, so I didn't do it. I've dealt with failures in acting where I actually practiced a lot and went to did the audition with all in and got rejected many times. I mean, it works. I've done sales calls where they just hang up on me, and I'm doing me. I mean, I'm just trying and trying, and it does not mean that it stops me. It just means that what did I miss? What's the lesson that I can move forward with? As long as someone is keeping the momentum going, there's no failure. It's just something that it's just a station when we move forward.
Awesome. It's just another learning curve, and I'm pretty sure that you have a strong vision that's pulling you and keeps you from stopping whenever you fail. And you're doing all these things. You're doing your own bodybuilding, own coaching. You coach people. You travel. You do business. You do acting. You do a lot of things. I'm pretty sure that there is a final product that you see, that you visualize. So looking 5 years from now, 10 years from now, as a person, as Basil, what do you expect the world to give you? Where do you see yourself?
I see myself becoming a movie star in 10 years. I want to have a global influence using that platform and be a good example, a respected person who actually lead people into doing good things and being kind to the world. Being myself, my own story, where I come from, and where I'm going, just me. And that is what I'm striving to do. That vision actually pulls me, and it, it's the fire that burns inside. So I love it. It just,
It changes your whole perception of failure, your whole perception of life, on work. You don't count the hours. You don't count how tired you are. It just pulls you. It's like a magnet. And that's the first thing I noticed in your book. It's purpose is the starting point. Because without it, you lose faith, you lose motivation, and you get sidetracked.
definitely.
Right?
Someone has to have a vision. I agree with you, Yusuf. Someone has to have a vision, a 10-year, 5-year, and then break it down. And those trials and failures are the way to doing that. Because if you have a strong vision, then you have to become a strong person for it. And those rejections, those turnarounds, those um, uh, stops or those challenges are the way to become stronger.
Yep. Stepping stones.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I got chills through that whole discussion there. That is incredible. It's so awesome just to sit in front of someone like you, someone, I mean, we both put our pants on one leg at a time. You're chill, you're easy to talk to, and yet you've got this deep passion burning inside of you that I know is going to lead to success because you know it to be true. It's as if it's just this thing that's assumed, like every single day I'm sure you wake up with that same vision in mind, and it's not as if you're going to fail at that. It's like, yeah, there will be small failures along the way, but those failures are only there to continue propelling you toward that ultimate goal. And that is incredible, and I think that's a message that so many people needed to hear today, so I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you, Eli. And I want to say something too. I become sad. I have an anxiety. I get depressed sometimes, but it's just doesn't last long, because I have a discipline. I have the vision that pulls me, and like you said, it is something that comes and just pulls me out of the darkness. So it's normal. We're all humans. We all experience all kind of emotions. It's just the mind that controls those emotions. And bodybuilding, like you two know, gives you that mindset.
Yep, definitely. You're 26 years old. I thought you were a little older than that. You have the world. You have the world in front of you. You have a whole life in front of you. So looking back, we always get to a point where we look back and we say, "Man, if I started doing this 10 years ago, I would have been a different person." Did you have one of these moments? If you meet your old self, as they ask the question, what would you what would you advise? If you meet the 16 years old Basil and you know the journey in front of you, what's one big thing that you would have changed?
That's a good question. I hear that question a lot in podcasts and shows. Um, I would say stop being stubborn and relax.
In what aspect?
Like yes, I have a drive, right? And I don't need to turn that drive inside of me. Like I'm always active, right? But I I I really relax myself a lot. Like just relax, just be in the moment. Those This is the side that I work on myself. Relax, don't be stubborn. Do it that way. Listen, um, see what's the positive aspect of that person's opinion, and that way, or doing it another way, or try it a different way. Just be spontaneous, relax. Those kind of things that I work on myself.
Kind of enjoy the journey. A lot of people, when they have goals in mind, they're as you say, they're constantly thinking.
Yeah.
Even when they're sitting down, their minds just go and firing, and they want everything, something after something after something, and you just keep thinking of what's the next step, and you don't, as you said, you don't live the moment. You get distracted.
Yes, I agree with you, and sometimes that backfires on you when you're
Yes,
not.
it does, and that's when you get the panic attacks and anxiety and all that. And this is something I learned way later on when I started meditating, because I needed to shut down and just be here, just switch off everything and reset. And it works wonder. Yep. So anybody with
I
a goal, just take it step by step. We said that earlier. If you have a plant, if you want to grow a plant, you can't just kill it with water and expect it to grow in one day. And if it doesn't grow within one day, you give up. You give up on it. It doesn't work like that. It's a process. Either it's growing mentally, physically, growing a business, doing any goal. You gotta relax and take it time. Give it time. It's not like procrastinating and just pushing things. No. If you know that you have a plan set and you're working on it, just chill. That's a good point. It keeps you in the game.
yes, I I agree with you. And just to zoom out a little bit and see your steps, like how far
Yeah.
you've come and how far you're going,
Yeah.
it just gives you a different perspective. I
Awesome.
agree with you.
I agree with you 100%.
You know, I think that this is just yet another example of where bodybuilding is such a perfect metaphor for life, because I think just like in a training program, you know, there's in life such thing as junk volume. You know, you have to chill at some point. You can't just keep going and keep going and keep going and expect to get bigger. Eventually, you're just going to completely burn out, and it's not going to produce results. So I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I think a person needs to know themselves. Like the way I was brought up, uh, the lessons I learned from my father, especially, like um, I knew that I'm a driven person. I just need to relax. So another person needs to have a motivation, need to motivate themselves, need to kick themselves in the butt, to get going. Another person just needs to relax. It's just hot and cold kind of things. Just you don't want to be all hot and you don't want to be all cold. You be flexible. That's the kind of advice I would exactly give myself. Just be flexible.
That's the advice you're gonna give yourself. So another advice I want personally from you. So you've been doing a lot of things and you've been successful in a lot of things. And we hear it online. We hear the motivational speeches and all that. Doing the meditations, doing the affirmations, and doing time management and all that. What would you say that worked for you the best to get your priorities set, to get your plan set up? Is it the daily visualizations? Is it the to-do lists? Is it the meditation? Is it what exactly that was the strongest attributes to your success?
I wouldn't point out to one thing, to be honest with you. I would say I meditate, and I do my cardio in the morning, and I write down my goals when I feel like it. I have journals, but at some point, you don't want to feel like if you don't do this, everything is going to be ruined. This is where you miss the point, right? Where you feel like I'm just going to do it because I have to do it. No, you have to have kind of a balance. If you miss it one day, if you feel that the cardio is having more effect than your meditation, or the meditation is having more effect than the journal, then that's fine. It's just the way that your body want to express itself at the moment, and you just accept that. I would say sometimes the cardio has more effect than that. Sometimes the meditation, but all of those things that you do in the morning or at night determines what happens in the middle.
Yep.
So you don't want to just meditate and just forget about it your whole day, or like you do your prayers or you do your journal or goal setting or cardio and then you forget about it. No, use that same concept in the middle of your day, because the most important thing is what you do, what you first wake up, what you tell yourself, and what you do before you go to bed. What happens in between is the effect of those things. So
Yep. I noticed
you,
that you're a big believer of starting the day right. You're a big believer of setting your morning right. That's why I asked you this question. And it looks like you have a lot of tools in hand, and you play around with them. You go with the flow, depending on how you feel. You don't force yourself on doing something that you don't you don't have to do or you don't want to do at the moment. You don't feel like it. So use your tools, whether it's time management or prayer, meditation, journaling, goal setting, all that. Kind of a flexible way on how you feel, what works for you, right?
That's right, and that's what I'm doing currently. I used to do the structured morning routine where it's on the dot, right? This and this and this and this, and then I start my day, and then in the end, this and this and this. And recently, I just let it all go, and I wanted to be flexible, and it's fine, right? And nothing happened. I mean, I'm still here. I'm still having that break, and I'm still doing those things and using them during my day. So all of those things are helpful. You just gotta try them all and see what you feel like
See what
has.
works for you the best.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. We're running out of time. We have a lot of questions for you, but if you, I don't know if Eli have a last question or you guys wanna wrap it up with kind of putting everything together.
Yeah, I think let's put it all together. I mean,
Mhm.
we've gone over so many important questions here, just starting by getting some background on you and who you are, and then to go from there and move into your ultimate mission, and finally realizing what you do every day, those small little steps. We've talked about that quite a bit on our podcast, is that everything big starts small, and it starts with those daily decisions. So I really, really like that. I guess if Basil, if you want to narrow it down, if you had some advice for people just starting out in a similar drive as you, what would your advice be to them? I know for you, to yourself, it was to be flexible. Is there anything else you would add?
Yeah, keep learning. Stay a life learner and use life as a stage of learning. It's a school. Or from my perspective, I learn from everybody. I learn from everything I see. I learn from everything I do. And when I'm not doing anything, I'm learning something about myself. Whether I'm hearing what's going on in my head, or I'm feeling something in my body, or looking around and finding out what I need to do. I mean, keep learning and stay curious. This is the mindset that moves you forward. You know, and ask better questions to learn better. There is no stop point at an answer, because if you ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for your time. I'm sure that we will have you for another one. There's a lot of topics that I want to branch out to in terms of business, in terms of time management, personal growth, all that. Because I know you had your own podcast, but this was a good one. We learned a lot from Basil, a man with a vision, and looking forward to see you on the big stage as a movie star.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this conversation, and I learned a lot from you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so
So
much.
real
Yeah.
quick before we go, I want to know where can everybody find you? So you have a podcast. Let's plug that. Let's get your Instagram handle out here, and one more time, say the name of that book.
Uh, so everybody can find me at Basil Alqaisoum, just like my name. No, nothing, just first and last name.
Put it in the description.
And on Instagram and anywhere. Like, this is my main thing. And the triple P is the name of the book. Purpose, Plan, and
Purpose,
Performance.
plan, and performance.
And I'll send you a copy, and you can send it to your list as well.
Awesome. And then here on that note, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for joining today. See you in the next
Thank
one.
you, Eli.